Well, Father Bauer needed somewhere to play, and Winnipeg drew real well. Like senior Maroons always drew well here because we were bringing international teams in prior to that. We had had the Czechs and the Russians and everybody over to play Maroons. So it was a great place for him to put his hockey club. And what it did for Winnipeg, as far as the Maroons went, that was the end of the Winnipeg Maroons right there when they amalgamated with Father Bauer. And I felt sorry in a lot of ways because we had a lot of older hockey players and like Danny Summers and Sheldon Bloomer and guys like that. They played most of the year, and then they were just kind of cast aside for the kids because that's who Father Bowers was worried about. He wasn't worried about a bunch of us old guys. So I was sorry to see that, actually. I don't think it did anything for senior hockey here. It was good for Father Bauer because they played a lot of games. We played against the Central League in that, and it was convenient. It was great when I was just with Maroons. It was wonderful with Father Bauer's team. I don't know. I didn't like the format the way it was, and but we went to that world tournament in Tampere, Finland. But we had a tour before that of about 3 weeks, and it was like a pickup team. We picked up guys, Henry Ackerval from the Lakehead and Ricky Hay and some Granny Moore from down east. And when we left Winnipeg, we had a certain amount of guys, and we picked them up on the way as we were going. And we had a pre-tour of, Germany, Finland, and I forget where all, Russia, with a lot of the old Maroons. And that fellows like Lou Joyle were still there, and Elliot Chorley, and some of them, they were part of it. And then when they were ready to play the tournament, a lot of the fellows were cut, and they brought over all the younger guys. And some of them I didn't believe in. They converted one guy, a kid by the name of Paul Conlon. He was supposed to be a forward, and they tried to make him into a defenseman, and, he never did work out as far as I was concerned, but he played in that tournament, and a little favoritism shown, and I didn't like the setup, to be quite honest with you. They were real good. That's when they had Ragulin and the big guy and Kuskin on defense, and they had the Mayerovs, and they had a little goalkeeper. It was before Tretiak. They had Konovalenko and Drazila and some guys. They had a lot of good hockey players. And the Czechs at that time, we had played 1 year against them. Nadamansky was with the Czechs then, and there was loads of good hockey players over there. And the Russians, they had a B team that was just about as good as their A team. They played a control style, but they didn't play rough hockey. But what they call now the pick play, that interference play, that was the Russians and the Czechs worked that to perfection in their own end. They picked off more forecheckers than enough. But that was a business with them. We got to know some of the fellows, especially the Czech fellows, pretty good. And like the Russian team, they played hockey 12 months of the year. They had a couple of weeks holiday on the Black Sea, and that was it. And that was their life, was hockey. And some of them played for Red Army, and they all played club teams, but they were the chosen few that were playing on the national team too. The first time we went to Czechoslovakia, in that one there, we ended up fourth. I think they ended up fourth a lot of years. Yeah, I think the Russians won it, and then the Czechs, and then the Swedes, and then ourselves. But we never beat the Russians, the Swedes, or the Czechs in that tournament. We lost those games to them. That was another one of my free trips that I wasn't supposed to have to do anything. I played the free tour, the pre-tour, and then they brought Kenny Broderick was their goalkeeper, and he came over and he played the tournament till they got shelled one night by the Czechs, and then unfortunately I got stuck in for a couple. I ended up playing against the Russians and the Swedes.